What an amazing opportunity we had this morning. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. Today, Nvidia is set to report earnings after the market closes, but even moments before it's set to report, we have the FOMC Fed minutes being released. Let's go ahead and jump right in and give you a quick little update. The first thing that I want to share is that Nvidia had a beautiful overbought reversal in today's live trading session. Again, I asked you guys if you guys want to tune on in to watch me trade live. It's the second link in the description down below. Markets pushed up. Honestly, I entered a little bit early when it came down to my initial short on Nvidia. Then I had to stay extra patient. It wasn't just about getting in at overbought levels anymore. It was only entering and adding more when direction was actually favorable. It finally broke below that EMA line, but I still waited for positive price action onto the downside. And once that actually ended up presenting itself, I then doubled my position, my short on Nvidia, and then quickly ended up covering. Again, I took profits right away as we approach or slightly broke below the moving average. It is now testing the same levels that we were at right when the market opened. Such a beautiful setup. You can't be surprised. We talked about it literally. Well, I talked about it yesterday. I forgot to upload the video yesterday. So that's why you saw a video upload this morning at 5 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I realized I never clicked publish. But with that being said, one of the things that we talked about was that, hey, markets are incredibly volatile in days like today, especially Nvidia, right? One moment it's pushing up, another moment it's selling off. It's meant mainly for people with experience or scalpers. When in doubt, never be afraid to cash out. And today is going to be a very exciting day as we watch the most valuable company that's publicly traded report earnings. And the NASDAQ market is, again, showing very similar setups. Look at this, a huge push up. Again, if you tuned on into our live trading session, we talked about this overbought reversal, literally gave back everything that it made. At one point, I think it was up like 1.2%, which is a pretty big recovery for NASDAQ, a complete bull trap in a moment where it mattered most. The sentiment is still negative, but can Nvidia actually save the market? That is the question everyone is asking. I don't have the answer for you. I can't predict the future. All I can say is that the sentiment has been negative, and even when big tech has reported positive earnings and even decent guidance, the stocks have still sold off. So based off of that, I just wouldn't be surprised if Nvidia does end up actually selling off. But the thing that I quickly want to share with you is that, again, today the FOMC Fed minutes is going to be released at 1400, which is about 2 hours before the market closes, if I'm not mistaken. And then on top of that, we have Nvidia reporting earnings. I want you to be aware that after the market closes, Nvidia is set to report earnings, and the expectation is $1.25 per share for the EPS, and revenue to be at $54.8 billion. The thing that I also want you to be aware is that even when it does beat earning expectation for EPS and for revenue, as Nvidia is notorious for this, not notorious, they have an amazing track record. They always beat earning expectation. But yet, if you look at the most recent reactions, they've been more red than they have been green, at least for the past year. Something to take into consideration, especially during a moment like this when sentiment is already so negative. I just wouldn't be surprised if markets end up actually selling off after Nvidia even beats expectation. Again, I like to call Nvidia the juggernaut of the market. It's the most valuable, but also incredibly bullish. It's one of the few companies that has seen an insane return when it comes down to growth, but also its forward PE ratio is actually cheaper now than what it was a year ago. So again, it's just a very odd time to be paying attention to the market because yes, they have pulled back a slight amount, but there is so much more, in my opinion, for them to pull on back, right? If you look at this on the 4-hour time frame, like this is a nice pullback. It has a major support at 180 per share. But if you click on the day chart, there's huge downside potential, which is why, again, if you want to buy the dip because you're incredibly bullish on Nvidia, I support that. You're an adult. You can do whatever it is that you want. Do I think it's the best deal that you can get? Well, definitely not, right? There's a lot of downside risk that can begin to present itself, especially if things get worse before they get better. One of the main reasons that there's a lot of uncertainty in the market is due to the up and coming Fed rate decision, whether there is now a greater probability that the Federal Reserve is going to pause and not actually cut rates. Remember, we said it before, the Federal Reserve is not going to save you. Jerome Powell made it very clear in the last meeting. So we'll have a little bit of a better understanding of this as we get closer to this FOMC rate decision. So again, Nvidia set to report earnings today after the market closes. I do plan to live stream it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I plan to go live about 15 to 20 minutes before it actually reports earnings. So if you want to join the fun, all I literally ask you to do is drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. But please turn on your post notifications, because if not, YouTube will not notify you when I actually go live. So again, this is a great time to, even if you're not invested in Nvidia, you will be influenced by Nvidia's reaction if you're invested in anything tech. So it's a very critical time to just be watching the market. You don't have to trade it. It's not designed really for beginners to trade, but it's a great time to be paying attention to the market and to watch. I wish you guys nothing but the best. I hope that earned your thumbs up. I'll see you today for Nvidia's earnings. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.